U.S. nears key agreement with Saudi Arabia, awaiting Israeli normalization for completion. The United States is nearing a significant agreement with Saudi Arabia that would offer Riyadh security commitments from Washington and help pivot the kingdom away from adversaries of the U.S., according to State Department spokesperson Matthew Miller. Despite progress, the deal's success hinges on an element that involves Israel agreeing to establish conditions conducive to the eventual formation of a Palestinian state. There is still more work to be done, Miller noted, particularly because Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has maintained a firm stance against such conditions following intensified conflict with Hamas. Miller emphasized, "We are on the brink of finalizing the key components of this agreement between the United States and Saudi Arabia, with just a few more details to iron out. We're hopeful these can be resolved quickly." In recent talks, the possibility of a normalization agreement between Saudi Arabia and Israel was discussed, despite the ongoing conflict with Hamas severely affecting Israel's international relations. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken also held discussions in Riyadh concerning the diplomatic efforts, focusing not only on the two-state solution but also on rebuilding Gaza and ensuring its security and governance. Some aspects of these discussions are more advanced than others. "We're aiming to finalize these discussions and present the agreement soon," Miller added. Furthermore, for Saudi Arabia to commit to any deal involving Israel, Miller pointed out that it would require stability in Gaza and a clear route toward an independent Palestinian state. While we may finalize the framework of the agreement with Saudi Arabia soon, any deal including normalization with Israel will depend on the situation in Gaza calming down, he concluded. When questioned why the U.S. is investing considerable effort in this initiative despite Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu's likely opposition, Miller stated that the U.S. sees regional integration as strategically beneficial for Israel. This approach would enhance Israel's security, marginalize Iran's influence in the Middle East, and secure partnerships for the reconstruction of Gaza. Ultimately, it is up to the Israeli government to decide what serves the best interest of their people, Miller explained. Miller also refuted claims that the U.S. or Saudi Arabia would endorse a deal lacking a normalization component. Both the U.S. and Saudi Arabia have been emphatic that this is a comprehensive package deal, including bilateral elements and a pathway towards two states, he emphasized. During a recent visit to Tel Aviv, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken underscored to Netanyahu and other Israeli leaders the urgency of reaching a hostage agreement, which is pivotal for advancing a normalization deal with Saudi Arabia. According to two officials familiar with the discussions, Blinken cautioned that the opportunity for a deal is dwindling and could be completely lost if Israel were to launch a major military operation in Rafah. The U.S. officials who briefed the Times of Israel last month believe that the differences between Washington and Riyadh can be reconciled. However, there remains uncertainty within the U.S. administration regarding Netanyahu's willingness to endorse the creation of a Palestinian state, a crucial element for securing Saudi cooperation. The importance of the Palestinian component is recognized not only due to its significance in Saudi Arabia and among progressive factions in Congress but also because it is integral to finalizing a significant defense agreement between Washington and Riyadh. This is necessary to gain support from both pro-Israel Republicans and Democrats critical of Saudi Arabia's human rights record. Despite potential challenges, the Biden administration is moving forward with the negotiations, hopeful to soon present a proposal to Netanyahu. This would compel him to choose between regional cooperation and his right-wing coalition partners, who would likely oppose any recognition of a Palestinian state, regardless of the conditions or timeline attached to it.